Welcome to Module 4, Reconnaissance, or Information Gathering in Ethical Hacking. This critical initial phase set the stage for successful penetration testing by systematically collecting data about a target. Ethical hacker can identify vulnerabilities, plan effective strategies, and ensure compliance with ethical and legal boundaries. These modules cover passive and active methods, tools, and techniques for in-depth information gathering in ethical hacking lab. Information gathering is the process of collecting data about a target system or network. This is the foundation of every or any penetration testing or ethical hacking engagement. And the purpose of this is to understand the target structure and vulnerabilities to plan and execute effective, non-disruptive testing in a controlled environment to ensure all subsequent steps are informed and focused. Like we have seen before, we have two types of information gathering, which is the passive and active. Under the passive, there is no direct interaction. So passive information gathering collects data without directly interacting with the target system, using publicly available sources to minimize the risk of detection. So what it means is this: you can gather information about a target without going straight to that target. Instead, you use information that's available in the public domain to get information about your target. This has low risk of detection, meaning since it uses public information, the target is unlikely to notice that you are gathering information. So this approach is essential for maintaining stealth and avoid unnecessary alerts. So how do we gather passive information? This method includes online research using search engines and social media, WHOIS lookups for domain registration details, and DNS queries to retrieve DNS records. The second one, which is the active, this type of information gathering involves direct interaction. So active information gathering involves direct probing the target to obtain detailed system data, requiring careful planning and execution. Now, there is high risk of alerts in this type of information gathering. It may trigger alerts on the target system. Employ these techniques ethically in a controlled environment like ethical hacking lab to minimize risk. And the method includes port scanning using tools like Nmap. We're going to head over to Kali Linux now and show you how information is being gathered. So now let's go on and launch our Kali Linux by first starting the VMware. I'm going to use VMware for this, VMware Workstation Pro. So I'm going to start this version of Kali Linux. I'm going to say power on this virtual machine. So now I'm going to impute my username, then my password. So what can I do now? We are inside Kali Linux. So I'm going to launch my terminal. I can come to this place and click on this and type terminal. And that is my terminal. So I'm going to hold Ctrl and plus on the keyboard to increase the font. Or I can just right click on my desktop and say open terminals here, and still use Ctrl plus to increase the font. So whichever one is up to you. The first thing we are going to do is to ping our target to obtain its IP address. What it means is that if I want to find out the IP address of a website, what I need to do is to ping that website. And the website I'm going to use for this demonstration is example.com. So I'm going to add ping and hit enter. So I'm going to hold Ctrl C. So what can we notice from here? We can see that this is the IP address of this website. So it is as simple as this. So let's look at some of the things we have here. Below says 10 packets transmitted, 9 received, 10% packet loss, and it took us this time to ping this website. So I would like to try this again. Since I got 10 packets transmitted but 9 received, then I will try to repeat that and hit enter again. So I'm going to try this again. But in all, you have to notice something. We have the same IP address. So let me hold Ctrl C here. And now I have a better result. 10 packets transmitted, 10 packets received, and 0 packet loss. And this is the time it took for this to happen. So this is how to ping any website to obtain the IP address. And in this case, our IP address is 96.7.128.175. So this means that this website, example.com, is up and running. Now let's go ping another website. In this case, example.net. So let me cancel or stop by holding Ctrl C, and you can see that we have a different IP address from this one here. This ends with 175, while this ends with 209. So this is basically how to obtain IP address of any website of your choice using the ping tool. Now let's talk about the next tool which can be used for information gathering, and that is nslookup. So we now add the domain name example.com and we hit enter. Oh, that was fast. So let's go up here and see what we can find. You can see this is not an IP address. So the IP address is here, and this shows that this website has multiple IP address. So let's check for another one, which is nslookup example.net. All right, we still have similar result. We have multiple IP version 4 address, as you can see here. Before you start your information gathering, you should have at the back of your mind what information you're actually looking for, and that will determine the tool you're going to use. Now let's try another one, which is WHOIS and example.net. You can see the result of this. What information can we find about this website using WHOIS? This is the registry domain ID, the registrar, updated date, registry expiry date, domain status, name server. Your interest here should lie on what information you're looking for. Term of use. And if you input your own domain name, you're going to have entirely a different result. So all these things we're doing is actually we're doing active information gathering. Now for the passive information gathering, we're going to make use of a third party application or website. For example, let's go to our Firefox or any web browser within Kali Linux and launch that. What is the IP address of this website? And I hit enter. Now, can I find any results? Yes. Also, I can just simply say how to find the IP address of any website. So I have this first one here, this one, this, and this. So here are 4 links I can try. Let me open the first one. In fact, open all of them down. Open this, and finally open this. So starting from this one, we're going to impute our domain name to find the IP address. So I simply say example.com. So I'm going to click on find IP address. Now remember, in your own case, you're going to use the domain name of the target. So you can see here, as like we have seen before, this example.com has several IP address. I would like us to go back to the Kali Linux and see if we can find anything close to what we have here. If you look very well, we have 23.192.228.80. Let's go back here. Here we have 23.192.228.80 and .84, and these are the IP address .80.84. So you can see that we actually have the same result. Now I'm going to change this to .net. So let's go check that of .net, and I can see 23.215.0.135. 23.215.0.135. So this is also accurate. And if we move on to the next website and impute example.com, you see we have that here and here, which is correct. So seeing this, let's go try the other example.net and find IP address. So you can see that we have 23.96, and you can see here 23.96. So let's see if we can find this 23.215.0.141, and here is it, 23.215.0.141. So basically, this is how to do passive information gathering using a third-party website to look for IP address of a domain name. Now another tool we want to talk about is WHOIS. So I'm going to clear the screen now. I want to say WHOIS, and let's start with example.com. And you can see here we are having details about the website registration, date of registration, the expiry date, and so many information that can be useful to us based on what we are looking for. These are the first set of tools we've been covering in this information gathering. Now, if you notice something, I used a domain name that was specifically set aside for educational purpose. In your own case, you could use the domain name of the company you're trying to secure or work for. In real penetration test, all this information here is something you're going to write down. So far, we've been able to see how to use ping, nslookup, WHOIS, which is active information gathering, and also how to do passive information gathering using a third-party website. So this is where I'll be stopping this video. I'll see you where I shall be talking about WHOIS and other tools. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you on the next one.